Today's video jumps between past and future for a reason, to show you exactly what this road in northern Vietnam is capable of. In the next few minutes you see an abandoned mountain palace, a giant flag at the roof of the country, a road clinging to vertical cliffs, and a tiny boat gliding through one of the deepest canyons in Southeast Asia. We travel with our private driver, Happy, along a route that starts around Dong Van, crosses the legendary Ma Pi Leng Pass, drops down to the emerald Nho Que River, and finishes in the small town of Meo Vac. If you want to follow the same journey, the full Google Maps route waits for you in the description. We begin in the quiet Sa Phin Valley, stepping into a place that feels frozen in time, the Hmong King's Palace, also known as Dinh Vua Meo. Stone walls, carved wooden doors, and tiled roofs surround us as we walk through the courtyards. This is the former home of Vong Chin Duc, the so-called Hmong King, who builds his power here in the early 20th century. His wealth comes from opium and mountain trade routes, and from alliances with and against bigger powers around him. Today the palace is a national cultural monument and a museum, but as you move from room to room you still feel the weight of decisions that once shaped this entire plateau. If you are interested to know where is this place located, pause the video, type the address you see on your screen and save it into your Google Maps account. You will thank me later. Back on the road, Happy drives us through the Lo Chai region. From the car window you see stone houses hugging the slopes, black-tiled roofs, dogs wandering lazily across the road, and people in traditional clothes walking between terraces. This is one corner of the Dong Van Karst Plateau UNESCO Global Geopark, a land that looks harsh and rocky but supports many ethnic groups, each with their own language, clothes, and way of working the mountains. From above, the villages sit like small islands in a sea of jagged limestone. We now head all the way north, towards one of the most symbolic places in Vietnam, Lung Cu Flag Tower on Dragon Mountain. Did I forget to mention the Happy takes care of paying for the entrance fees of the places we visited? He joins us at the entrance of every place to give us information along the way of the visit. In this particular place, we first jump into a small electric cart while admiring the landscape that surround us, and then we continue on foot to get to the top. Hundreds of stone steps twist up the slope. With every step the view opens wider, until the huge flagpole rises above us. At the top, a 54-square-meter red flag snaps in the wind. That number is not random. It represents the 54 ethnic groups that make up Vietnam. The flagpole stands at about 1,468 meters above sea level and marks the northern tip of the country. For centuries, flags on this mountain signal sovereignty. Today this modern tower continues that role with an octagonal column, bronze drum motifs, and stone carvings that tell the story of Vietnam's founding and defense. But Dragon Mountain hides another story under our feet. The rock here is ancient limestone formed in a shallow sea hundreds of millions of years ago. In these cliffs geologists find fossils of trilobites, strange marine creatures that lived more than 500 million years ago. Down at the foot of the mountain, two small lakes shine between the rocks. Locals call them the Dragon's Eyes. Legend says a sacred dragon leaves its eyes behind here before flying back to heaven, and they turn into lakes that never dry up. Scientists describe them as sinkholes in the limestone, later sealed by clay, but both stories live together in this landscape. We return towards Dong Van Town, where our day truly takes off. From above you see the town tucked into a bowl of jagged peaks, a small grid of streets surrounded by a sea of gray limestone. All of this sits inside the Dong Van Karst Plateau Global Geopark, a protected area of more than 2,000 square kilometers in Vietnam's far north. Over 60% of its surface is limestone, and the whole area records more than 500 million years of Earth's history. Ancient oceans, tectonic collisions, uplift, and erosion. Leaving Dong Van behind, we follow Happy along a narrow road that winds between rock towers towards the first big viewpoint of the day, Khe Lia Panorama. From this balcony in the sky, you look out over deep valleys and rice terraces that spill down the mountains like green staircases. Tiny villages smoke gently in the distance, reminding you that people build lives in this sharp and unforgiving terrain. It is here that the scale of the geopark really hits. This isn't just a beautiful road, it is a living museum of geology and mountain culture. From Khe Lia, the road tightens and the cliffs grow taller. We enter Ma Pi Leng Pass, often called the First Pass or King of Passes in Vietnam. The asphalt clings to near vertical rock, on one side a towering wall, on the other a drop of hundreds of meters straight down. Some sections barely have a barrier. It's just happy, our car and an endless amount of empty air beside us. From the drone, our car shrinks to a tiny dot moving along a thin line carved into the mountain. This road cuts through layers of limestone that were once seabeds and coral reefs, later folded and lifted by tectonic forces over tens of millions of years. We could not do it, but I remember that Happy recommended to step aboard a small tour boat and glide out onto the Nho Que River if you have the time. Here, everything slows down. The water is calm and emerald green, when dry season, reflecting the limestone towers above it. You have to tilt your head all the way back to see the top of the cliffs you were driving along earlier today. The engine hum echoes off the walls, then disappears into a silence that feels almost too big to describe. In the narrowest sections, the canyon closes in so tightly that the sky becomes a thin blue line between rock faces. It's hard to believe that only a short time ago we were on top of these same cliffs, looking down at this tiny ribbon of water. After following a boat ride, I flew my drone back into the lookout point and rise once again from river level to the world of high passes. The last stretch of the day leads us into Meo Vac, a small but important town at the edge of the plateau. This peculiar village was made just a couple of years ago, but if you have to plan an accommodation in this area, this is the place to be. I will leave the place and description of our accommodation for the night below. Here we check into a local homestay, simple wooden rooms, shared dinner with typical good from the area, and the gentle quiet of everyday life continuing around us with a small exception of local music for YOLO travelers in the distance. As the sun rises above Meo Vac, our journey through the mountains of Ha Giang comes to an end, but the adventure doesn't stop here. Tomorrow, we continue the story, driving south toward the biggest waterfall in Asia and the third largest in the world. Along the way, we'll explore hidden temples, a local rice noodle factory, and a few places so unexpected that you wouldn't believe they exist unless I show them to you. So don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, and stay tuned. Because the next chapter of this northern Vietnam journey is going to be unforgettable.